Because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
You thought the game was over, but it's only just begun.
Welcome to the Massacre, known as Safe. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving, directed by Eli Roth. And I just got back from the theater, so kind of fresh in my mind as of right now into where we're really going with this. So I'm not going to script this. I'm kind of just going to go through the fly of this movie, and it was a solid movie. It was a very, very solid movie. There was a mixture of definitely funny at times. The kills were pretty quick at times and pretty gruesome as well. Really, when this story begins, like, you obviously see a town that's, just celebrating Thanksgiving. You see the Right Mart, which is the Walmart of our generation, Black Friday. And a significant accident happens where, people are just going crazy trying to get into the store when it's blocked off by security guards and police. And, you're kind of meeting all these new kid characters, which I liked all of them. I thought they were very funny at times. I thought, when they were serious, they were great. Going to this Right Mart store on Black Friday, them being already in the store, one of the parents actually worked as a employee inside one of the Right Mart stores, and obviously the main final girl, her father is the owner of the Right Mart store. Obviously Black Friday happens, the doors open, people start getting killed from just the piles of people that are going in, and a big, those accidents happen on Black Friday. And it circulates as big news, and then really time rolls by like a year, and no one forgets about what happened, and people kind of, the police and everybody kind of shuffled this thing under the rug for a whole entire year. It's hard for people to celebrate Thanksgiving the year after. And then all the slaughtering starts to begin, and John Carver starts to send and tag people on social media of the kids that were involved that recorded this incident. And John Carver starts to get his revenge. And I gotta say, guys, when it comes to John Carver, he looked amazing. I heard from Eli Roth in a couple of interviews that he actually played multiple actors played this character in every scene. So there was actually a different John Carver in the John Carver suit every scene, because they didn't want you to figure out who John Carver was. My favorite kill probably, and look, some of the kills are pretty damn good. I think my favorite one is I'd have to say the one with the girl that had the corn holders in her ears. He put the corn holders in her ears, and then threw her on this table saw that was running, and she was just on it, and blood was flying everywhere, and her boyfriend gets her off of it, and her intestines are falling out, which I thought that was pretty cool. The main one I really did like too was the woman that worked in the diner, which was pretty gruesome. And from the trailers, you thought she would die in a different way. He pretty much slams her into the sink where it's full of water, where her whole upper body is full of water, and then opens the freezer door, puts her on the freezer door, and literally as soon as she's put on the freezer door, she's trying to escape, where skin just comes off her face, off her hands. She locks herself into her room. She comes back out. She finds the exit. She got her keys for her car. She rolls out to her car, and it looks like John Carver was already in the vehicle, and then started the vehicle. She starts running away. She jumps on top of one of those, those 5-10 yard garbage pails that are outside. She jumps on top of it. Half her body is in the garbage, and half in her lower body is hanging outside. He smashes her car. He smashes the garbage of her lower body, and her lower body just breaks in half, guts and blood flying everywhere. So just ripped her whole body in half. And as he's killing more people, he's got this secret location where he's putting all these dead bodies at the dinner table. Because really, by the end of this movie, he kind of completes to have this big Thanksgiving dinner with all the people that think they are the cause of this Right Mart Black Friday thing that happened a year prior. I thought that kill was really cool. It happened so fast. He rips her body in half with that car in 2 seconds. You're kind of confused on that kill a little bit when it happens. Then you understand why or how it happened. Then, interesting enough, one of the other guys, I guess so he's going after everybody that's involved, okay, that was involved with that instance. The security guard, the pudgy security guard that was outside of the Right Mart, before the people started barging into the store. He ended up like leaving that scene and ended up, apparently he was going on a plane somewhere. He was at home trying to figure out what he was doing. He was going on a plane somewhere. He was packing up, getting ready to go. So that security guard, and then Carver shows up and stabs him, I think in the leg or something like that. And then it's really crazy. He puts like a turkey carver inside his chest, and then it starts to just because those turkey carvers they keep moving. It's pretty much like a turkey chainsaw, pretty much an old school turkey chainsaw. It's in his chest the whole entire time. Then he grabs one of the wire saws, like a wire saw. He puts it around his neck. He turns himself. John Carver turns himself around, and he slips it, and his head comes right off. It was funny, that scene, because because the security guard was actually talking to his cat inside the apartment before he was killed. So right when John Carver is about to leave and his dead body's on the ground, the cat is just kind of staring at him. and then he stares back at the cat, and you're like, oh no, don't tell me he's gonna do something bad to the cat. And then the next cut scene happens, and he's literally pouring cat food for the cat. It was like probably the most funniest shit, because he just killed his owner in the house, and I guess he liked pets, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna feed the cat. He pet the cat, he fed the cat, and then he walked out. So I thought that was pretty cool. Obviously, some of the chasing scenes with the final girl I really did like, where she was in the school. Kind of like those little chase scenes. I love John Carver's movements with the axe so much. He's got these little quick, like, insane movement, which I really do like with him in a lot of scenes, and I thought that was pretty amazing. She got away from him a couple times in the film. But really, by the time you get to the ultimate scene we were kind of looking for, where, they have this Thanksgiving parade. And one of the kids that was a target, because there was a few cutscenes where you see John Carver looking at this wall inside his house of all the people that he's trying to kill. One was some kid that was in a parade that was wearing a turkey outfit. So he dresses as a clown to knock off and chop off the head of this guy in the turkey outfit during a parade, which is kind of nuts. The final girl, and I guess her mother and her family, her dad, are in the car. Two of her friends are in the car while all this is going on, and just trying to get out of there. The sheriff gets knocked to the ground. The clown, the real, obviously the John Carver killer, goes up and kind of shoots them with some tranquilizer darts in the back seat to knock them out. He takes the car, he drives away. And then really at the same time, the cops are trying to find out where all this is taking place, what's going on, like, where is John Carver located? So my favorite part probably of this whole movie, where he has everybody around the dinner table. But first, the mother of the final girl is pretty much the stepmother, and she is getting, in the trailer that we see her getting, like, basted as a turkey and putting salt and pepper on her and all that stuff. So she actually tries to escape after that happens. He ends up catching her again. She pretty much runs out the front door. He grabs a pitchfork and throws it at her back. She falls to the ground. He drags her back into the house. And then you see the ultimate scene we kind of been waiting for, which was the oven scene. You know, did it actually happen? And yes, it did. He puts her in the oven. And what I really liked about it too is, and it's funny because they add these, you know, Eli Roth puts these little funny things into some of these scenes. He puts a thermometer inside her. He like sticks a thermometer inside her. You know, the old school one where the thing pops up to tell you that it's, you know, the turkey's done. He puts one of those in her body as she's in the oven. She's begging him not to, you know, cook her at all in the oven. So he turns the oven on, and yeah, guys, she gets burnt alive in the oven. So when we get to all the kids and the parents that he tranquilized in the back seat, they're pretty much, it remind me of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre so much, the original one, because they all wake up around this dinner table. And holy shit, dude. The stepmother, is literally a fucking turkey on the damn table. She's a turkey on the table. I'm talking, her feet weren't there, covered in like those aluminum things on the legs. Like she was like sitting there like her legs up like and curved like a turkey. No head. Her head was off, and that prosthetic looked pretty damn real to be like, it looked like a humanized turkey. So John Carver goes, everyone starts waking up around the table. The mother, obviously the father, the two friends, and the final girl. They wake up around the table, and John Carver is like, he's got a microphone on his mouth and starts like talking. You know what I mean? It's just so funny, and he wants everyone to, tell him what they're thankful for, but be wise on what you say. So one of the friends at the table was just so scared, and he was live streaming this whole entire thing, by the way. And one of the guys just starts freaking out at the table. He's like, "What are you thankful for? Choose wisely." And one of the guy friends, one of the kids, the high schoolers, he puts his head down on the table. He grabs one of those meat hammers, and he starts hitting his head over and over and over. It was kind of crazy. Then he goes to the father and says, "Let me cut a piece of your wife." He cuts a piece of meat from his wife's body on the table, and tells him to eat it, which I don't think he did. Because by that time, the final girl and the guy and her friend next to her, they found this like little tool that they had trying to like cut the rope that was around them as all this is going on. So the father, I thought the father was going to die. He had a knife to his throat, and then obviously, the final girl escapes with kind of everybody else. And then the big twist, who was John Carver this whole entire time? So you find out later on that the sheriff is John Carver. After all this is over and she escapes, she notices that the sheriff is wearing these like black shoes that have like bush things on them. She was chased by John Carver through the woods and noticed that he had like these branch or like these little prickly things on his shoes. So she like stops for a second and starts freaking out because the blame was starting to go towards Billy, I think Billy his name was, or Bobby, I forgot his name, her first boyfriend in the film. That really, that he was the guy in the beginning of the film that was with her. Then once that thing happened, Bobby or whatever his name is, her first boyfriend got into an accident with his wrist, and he was like this big, like major, this big pitcher in high school. And kind of that, his wrist got all messed up because he had an accident when that Right Mart stuff was going on Black Friday. So he broke up with her before a year prior. He broke up with her after that. Then she was with this other guy that was a total dick. And you thought that her first boyfriend was the actual killer. But it wasn't. They wanted to make you believe that. And it was the sheriff. The sheriff had a lot of parts in this movie. Like he was always helping her in a lot of scenes. And the cops were just not doing anything to find who John Carver was. So, that was kind of obvious. They tried to make you think that one of the two boyfriends was John Carver, but it wasn't. But it was the actual sheriff of the whole entire the police department. So she finds out it's him. He kind of knows that she knows it's him. She's live streaming on her phone from Billy or Bobby's phone, because his phone went into evidence. Took the phone out, started live streaming without him noticing, and pretty much saying what he is and threatening to kill her pretty much in this room while he locks the door. So a big chase scene happens where the final girl and her old boyfriend, they try to run from him in this warehouse. She turns on this nitrogen gas, and they blow up. They press this button to blow up this big turkey. It's the helium. The helium inside the big turkey balloon. Which I think this was the warehouse where they kept all the parade stuff for the Thanksgiving parade. The whole place explodes pretty much. The sheriff, that's John Carver, he apparently was in the flame, and they didn't find any body. Apparently, there was no body, there was no remains, there was no nothing, just a bunch of ash. They didn't find one body, no bone, no nothing. So as she goes to sleep with her new boyfriend in bed for the last scene, she has a bad nightmare that she opens her closet, her boyfriend says something from bed, and you see a flaming sheriff still on fire grabbing her. But this was just a bad dream. She wakes up in her bed, and then the movie pretty much just ends after that. So I thought it was a fun movie. If I was to give it something, I would probably say it's an 8 out of 10, a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10, just because the story wasn't anything crazy. Like, it was going to be a very plain, it was just, let's try to stop John Carver, and there really wasn't a big story to it. I think the characters were amazing. Everybody had a different personality. You had a smart-ass kid. You had you had a different personality with everybody. The final girl was okay. I didn't think she was that amazing, but I didn't think she was bad either, to make me believe that she was going through this trauma of what was going on, what was happening to all her friends. The kills were pretty damn creative for a Thanksgiving special, and I have to give that a 9 out of 10 because I thought they were pretty damn amazing. John Carver, his look was fantastic in this film. Even one of the scenes where he places his mask on top of one of the wall ovens, his mask actually turns black and crispy, and he puts the mask back on. I don't know why he took the mask off in the first place. Probably because it was too hot when the oven was on. You didn't see his face at all. But he put the mask on when it was like black and crispy, and it looked so cool. Then he ended up putting on a new mask. He had so many other masks, John Carver masks in his house. So he took another one and put a fresh one on later on. The kills were great. The story wasn't, like I said, it wasn't too bad. But for a fun Thanksgiving, just let's have fun Thanksgiving horror slasher type movie, I thought Eli Roth did a fantastic job on it. And is there a continuance? We're gonna find out. It might not be a continuance. It looks like there's just more to this story that hasn't been told yet. I mean, that's just the truth. There's just definitely more to this story. And will we get it? I don't know. We'll see what Eli Roth has to say of the future of this franchise, if he comes back, because they didn't find a body. There was no body. I think they did this on purpose to keep it open, to see how this movie is going to do in theaters. And I think that's the number one thing. It's got to do well. Number two, it's already from critics alone, it's pretty much 90% are over right now from the 2 days it's been out. So I think there's a nice future to this. There could be another film and kind of make it more bloody and more gory, more disgusting, but the kills were great. And I think it's just a steady, fun type slasher to watch, in the month of November. And that's a great thing. So, like I said, 7.5, 8 out of 10, because I think the story, was not great, and the acting at times it wasn't fantastic. But times where things should have been more some of these characters should have been freaking out a lot more than what they were given to us at certain points of this film. There was a lot of comedy. There was some good comedy in this too. There was some teenager comedy. you know, people just saying stupid shit just to get you a laugh. You know, the little things that John Carver does, like, is funny because it is Thanksgiving, so he does these little tiny things that just make you laugh when it's involvement with these kills. And obviously the family, the scene around the table with the stepmother on the middle of the table with the rest of the dead bodies around. I thought that was a perfect scene. He has the microphone in his mouth. I thought that was probably one of the best, I think the best scene. They saved the best for last, and Eli Roth totally killed it on that level when it comes to gore and when it comes to just being a little creeped out a little bit at the end there with everybody sitting around the table, and he's just like, he's got a microphone on, he's got a microphone headset on like he's a game show host or something, and it was just funny. And it was it was brutal, I gotta say. So let me know what you guys think about the Thanksgiving. There will be no leftovers. I hope, you know, there's a lot of things you could take from this, and hopefully you feel better about it. But I thought it was solid. It's a solid movie. Not the most amazing thing I've seen, not the worst shit I've seen in my life, trust me, but it was solid. And it's good for Thanksgiving. I think good for the future of horror, that they could continue this with John Carver. John Carver, ex-sheriff on the loose, and could be ready to carve up more throughout the holidays. So you guys let me know. What do you guys think? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video as well for more content every single day. That is my spoiler review for Thanksgiving. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this movie. Keep running. Peace out.